Corporates have started focusing too much on profit and profitability. So definitely, if you are not going to create that level of trust among your shareholders, among the people, you're going to lose the market very soon. Society is trying to tell you, do things which are ethical, do things which are moral. I always say that ethics is equal to the reputation. Good morning and welcome to the third session in Unit 6 in Management Principles and Practices, where we are going to talk a very important, rather a crucial topic called as the business ethics. Now, in this world of business, is it necessary that I should follow the rules? Is it mandatory that I should give importance to the regulations, to the lawmakers, and to the policy holders? The answer is yes. Why? Because business ethics is the study of appropriate business policies and practices regarding potentially controversial subjects, including the corporate governance, insider trading, bribery, discrimination, CSR, and other factors. Nowadays, in the modern corporate world, the word called as trust is slowly declining. It's vanishing. Why? Because corporates have started focusing too much on profit and profitability. Every single activity that a corporate is involving itself is all revolving about the profits. To make profit, I would like to go in my own way. I'm not concerned anymore about the society. I'm not concerned anymore about the rules and regulation. All I need to see is that the dollars keep on clicking in my account. I want to see an organization that does not lose any quarter. I want to see an organization where billions keep rolling into my book of accounts. I'm not bothered about the rules. I'm not bothered about the regulations. I'm not bothered about the briberies, the kickbacks, the scandals, and the controversies that people are talking about me. I'm only worried about the factor that am I making money year after year, day after day. So that's exactly where business ethics comes in as an enlightener. That comes in to make you understand that please go back to the book of rules. Please go back to your vision and mission statement. Go back to the company laws. Understand that your existence as an organization, as a corporate entity, stands on trust, stands on responsibility, stands on the factor that yes, we need to go by the rules. We need to provide each and every activity in a transparent manner so that the shareholders don't go back. They don't get upset. They don't get cheated at any point of time. So that's why I often say that the law that guides the business ethics, but other times business ethics provides a basic guideline that the businesses choose to follow to gain public approval. Followed by business ethics offer reference to the implementing of business policies, practices, arguably on controversial subjects, because why I say that this sets a tone for the business. It's very important for all of us here to understand. Ethics comes into the place where morality dips. Ethics comes into the place where controversy erupts. Ethics comes into the place where excellence is deviated. That's why people talk about business ethics. Whether you talk about an IPL, whether you talk about a FIFA, whether you talk about a corporate marathon, somewhere down the lane, there is something called as fixing, there's something called as bribery, there's something called as pre-factors that actually make things in such a way that a person always keeps on winning. People are so much obsessed about the factor called that they want to win. They want to establish themselves. They're not bothered about the society. They're not bothered about the workers. They're not bothered about the families that are involved. All they want to see is that at the end of the day, who wins the title? In this rat race, let me tell you, I have slowly forgotten the ethics and values. I've completely lost myself in the corporate jungle where I just want to go ahead and tell my people that I'm the winner. I've slowly started understanding the jungle rules and laws where it says the fittest survives. Now here, the most profitable survives. I don't want to live this kind of a corporate life. I want to change. That's exactly where business ethics comes back and tells me, please understand your morality. Go back to your moral values. Sometime down the lane in your school days, you studied a proverb called as honesty is the best policy. Where has the policy gone now? Where have you lost that ideology altogether? Sometime down the lane, you say that trust, integrity, people, all those things have lost. Today, you're only talking about money. So the more the money you have, you feel that you are the greatest. More the asset value, more the return on investment, more your EPS ratios, you're very happy. But that's not what always public want. They also want you to see as a moral, responsible citizen in this society. Moving forward, now business ethics ensures that a certain basic level of trust exists between the consumer and various levels of market participants. For example, a portfolio manager must give the same consideration to the portfolio of family members and small individual investors. These kinds of practices are being reviewed. Now, what I really want you to make yourself understand is that the word called as level of trust. To what extent consumers really believe you, your customers believe you. Now, for example, let me start with this very small example, Parachute coconut oil. The way the brand established itself among the minds of consumer is it's simply fantastic, I would say. When people look into that blue color bottle, there is no second option at all. People immediately say, that's Parachute coconut oil. How did the brand get established is because of the trust factor that the Parachute coconut oil could drive into the minds of consumer. At some point of time, people started asking this question, blue means parachute. Now, this is exactly where you have created trust in the minds of consumer. So today, people don't question, people don't go back and say the factors that, you can change your mindset, you can do different things, you can act differently. No. When you are establishing a connection with your consumers, please understand that you are setting a level of trust. You're going back and telling people very clearly that, yes, I am here for you. I have created a product which is built out of trust, which is built out of integrity, which will not compromise at any cost towards the standards, towards the policies, towards the quality that I'm going to give in terms of my product. So I always say that at some point of time, the practices that you start imbibing inside your company will definitely matter. Why? Because at the end of the day, people are going to look into this. People are going to ask you this question. Do you really trust the company in which you are working? Do you really trust the company in which the products are being sold? So definitely, if you are not going to create that level of trust among your shareholders, among the people, you're going to lose the market very soon. Followed by the concept of business ethics began in the year 1960s, where the corporations became more aware of the rising consumer-based society that showed concerns regarding the environment, social clauses, the corporate social responsibility. So somewhere the awareness that started was very long back. No doubt about it. 1960s itself, the awareness started coming into the minds of people. People ask this question at least 10 times. What is corporate social responsibility? Why I need to be more concerned about the society. But nevertheless, what we really feel here is that though this entire activity began in 1960s, where are we right now? What is that we are trying to do? So somewhere I feel that the increased focus, please focus on that word, the increased focus on social issues was a hallmark of the decade. So somewhere society is trying to talk back. Society is trying to tell you, do things which are ethical, do things which are moral. Don't try to just sell a product for the sake of marketing. Don't brand your products as if that there is nothing better than that. Don't try to tell a lie to a customer and make the sales happening. Don't go back to any of the customers and say that, yes, I will do it, I can do it, everything is fine. Don't do that. Tell them truth. Tell them openly that, yes, there are some problems. Go back and apologize to your customers that if you have made a mistake. There's no wrong about it. But please do not create a false image, a false perception in the minds of the consumer where you deviate from the ethics. That is not accepted at any point of time. So I would always say that this is really important for all of us. Followed by, here are the examples of business ethics that we are talking about. Like, for example, when we are talking about the cereals that are being sold with the natural ingredients. Why? Because sometimes when we look into the branding, the packaging of cereals, of all these kind of products that we are talking about today, people just write it in whatever words they get. They try to put all rosy words or all kind of green words that might attract the customers. You say that your product is made out of the most natural ingredient that's available. But unfortunately, when it goes for a chemical test, we come to know that that's a false. That's a lie. Now, that is where I would always say that you are ethically challenged. There is different ways of challenges that comes on in a business side, but then now you are ethically challenged. Why? Because each and every word that you write on the cover page of your product has to be true, because consumers today are not just going to believe you. They are going to verify, they're going to cross-check, they're going to come back and tell you this factor very clearly, that whether it is right or wrong. So please go back and make a policy very, very clear, stating that whatever you are doing is ethically right, or else please don't do that business at all. Followed by, some competitor advertisements tout about high fiber cereals. They talk about a lot of things. They say that, it reduces the risk of cancer. Somebody says that the marketing department goes forward and brings out the flyers, brings out the ideas saying that, yes, we are the best in the world. But ultimately, the competitors, the society, there are a lot of things where they find out the shady labeling that comes into picture. And tomorrow the people come back and ask that manufacturing company the very same question. Why did you flout the rules and regulations? Why did you come up with something which is not even true to the nearest point? The thought process that you need to go through here is that marketing sometimes overtakes your company's vision, ideas, and policy. Your product becomes even more powerful than your company. This is exactly like when I say shadow is bigger than the real image. Sometimes you're so obsessed by your market leadership position, you're so obsessed by your profits, by your sales, that you forget the ethics, you forget the rules. You don't want to go back. You don't want to accept defeat. You don't want to take that no as a reply. So that's exactly what happens here, is that you start promoting products with all kinds of hyped up thought process, and finally you land up paying fine. Now moving forward, now consider the matter of quality control for a company that manufactures electronic components for computer servers. There are many times, I just go ahead and give you warranties or guarantee cards saying that this is the best. But what happens after a consumer uses it, suddenly it breaks, the parts are gone, you're not able to get it. So many things happen, but then at that reason, you just come back and say that probably, this is what I was looking for. This is what I literally did not like in the system. So whenever you are going to sell a product to the customer, the most important thing is that the sell needs to come out of trust. People have to trust you to make a sales. You cannot just go there and say that because the product is good, the consumer will buy. No, because the trust on that particular product is good, people will buy the product. Now, if you have defects in the product, and if you go back and you tell the customers very clearly that these are the defective parts, yes, the consumer is already ready to give you a chance to improve yourself. But if you go and tell a lie to the consumer saying that this product, nothing will happen for the next 2 or 3 years, and the very next month itself the product breaks, you are going to lose the market, you're going to lose the consumer, and you're going against the ethics altogether. Followed by, now many checks, many of those factors which are going to go through could delay the consumer product release. Definitely yes. Why? Because we want the product to be doubly sure that it is not going to break the trust of the consumer. Take time to release your product. Take time in the sense that you go through each and every component, detail it out, tell what is happening. You might take 5 or 10 extra checks also. Now, you would have seen the recent advertisement where Mahendra Singh Dhoni is coming as a brand ambassador for Cars 24. Now, what is he trying to tell about the refurbished cars? The second-hand cars that you can buy through Cars24 is all about the check factor, the quality factor, the control factor. Why is that advertisement again and again aired on your television set? Is primarily because they want to first create the trust factor in the minds of consumer that yes, you can buy a quality car from Cars24. Though it is second-hand, I'm putting that label again. It is a second-hand car, but it is equal to a showroom car. We have checked it. We have gone through it. That's exactly what they want to create a trust in your mind. So why I'm trying to come here is that the product can be delayed. The product might take more time in terms of reaching the hands of the consumer. The consumer has to wait, no doubt about it. But when you are going to launch a product, be sure that it is not defective. Be sure that it does not break the trust. It does not break the expectations of the consumer. Then you would be able to come back and tell to the market, tell to the society that yes, we stand for trust, we stand for quality, and we stand for everything that is good in life. Followed by what is exactly now the business ethics is facing is all about the controversial factors, one side. On the other level where we're going to talk about, this is also embedded with laws such as minimum wage, insider trading, environmental regulation. That is also a part of the business ethics where we are coming out. What I typically talk about is the managerial behavior part also. One side when I talk about the product, the consumer, the sales and the other factors. The other side I also need to talk about how the business itself is treating its employees. Are they treating the employees well? Are they following the rules? Are they giving what the employee wants? Are they doing exactly what has to be done as a part of the organization? Now, when I give you the examples of a Tata or Infosys, these companies have established themselves as employee-friendly, not just because they're paying the salaries on time, but because they are taking care of the needs of the employee. They are taking care of the expectations of the employee very well. So that's what they are looking into it. They don't want to see an organization which just pays the salary on time or probably gives you a hike or an incentive or a promotion on time. That's not what is expected from a business ethic. Are you paying according to what you have promised? Your promises means a lot for the employees in the organization. Your promises would definitely spell success. If you're able to keep your promise, if you're able to go back and tell people exactly what you are doing in this history is correct, then automatically your name becomes an example for an ethical model of business. So that's where exactly now we are looking into this business ethics. Followed by, what's an example? Now, for example, when we talk about this consumer coming into it, the factors of earnings when we are going to talk about. Now, there was a time when Satyam company had gone ahead and lied to the employees, to the shareholders, when they were making continuous or consecutive losses in terms of the business. But still, they went on telling lies to the employees, saying that the company was doing very good. So that's where I'm exactly coming in. When a company is making loss, please inform your employee that yes, we are making loss. On the other side, you hide the factor so that he should not sell the shares, and when the employee finds out the company has made a loss, you have not only made a loss in terms of physical value, but also in terms of the moral values. So please don't go to that level. Don't take that factor of chances where you just want to go lie. Instead, tell the truth. Truth is always dangerous. Let me tell you this factor. Truth does not come out so easily. You have to face the consequences. But nevertheless, the punishment will always be lesser. You will always get a second chance to prove yourself better. Now, the next thing is that they have a long-lasting implication at several levels. One, because once you have started making people understand the value, the practices have started going up and people have started trusting you, people have started moving with you. And if you try to make any sort of deviations, let's say there's a data breach or there is some kind of insider activity that has happened, automatically that will create a severe impact on the business. I always say that ethics is equal to the reputation. And when your reputation is at stake, then there's nothing else that you can fight for. You've lost it. So I would always say that keep the reputation at the highest. The results will automatically follow. Don't follow the results. Chasing the results does not make your company strong. but keeping the reputation at the highest, results will automatically follow you. So that's very more important here as we talk about this business ethics. With that, I come to the end of the syllabus as well as the subject in terms of management of principles and practices. I hope and believe that all the contents that have been discussed through the various sessions will definitely be of a great help to you, both in terms of practice and theory. So I wish all of you to make the best use of the content that has been provided. This will definitely help you to score very well in your upcoming exams. Thank you once again for joining with me on today's session in terms of learning the various forms and factors of management principles and practices. Thank you once again.